life has different plans for us. You never know. That's why, like, when I look at back, it gives me chills, thinking about the different path that I would have.
Crossroads often represent crucial moments in our lives. They can be transformative and lead to personal growth and new directions. The Crossroads podcast is about creating a community of people who are comfortable talking about their shortcomings and take pride in the efforts they put to reach their goals. It's about believing that we can always learn from others, from their positive attitude and growth minds. Each episode, we discuss our guests' defining crossroad moments in their lives and how they shape who they are today. I am Bogdan Pavel, and this is Crossroads.
Okay, so here we are, episode 1 of the Crossroads podcast. I'm very happy to have with me tonight my friend Aykut. Thank you again for being here with me, with us, hopefully, today. As you know, this podcast is about exploring together crossroads, moments of change, moments that perhaps were quite significant in our lives because they represented a watershed moment, perhaps in terms of some events, in terms of how we looked at things in different areas in our life. So I have asked Aykut before our call today to think of one crossroad moment in his life, be it personal, professional, or related to perhaps any other interest that he has. Aykut, how did the thinking go? Did you manage to think about one crossroad?
It felt like a job interview, I don't know. Then I was thinking that, this is a casual conversation with my dear friend Bogdan. So then I try to think about this like moments in my life, and actually sometimes I don't know other people think that, but sometimes I think about these moments and thinking what would be different, if I had a different direction at that crossroad moment. So it was a good exercise for me as well to think about those questions you sent me.
Happy to hear. That's a bit the purpose. Hopefully, the thoughts come quite naturally to mind. But sometimes I do think, indeed, it's interesting to look backwards at some of these moments and just perhaps I think it could be that sometimes it's almost more clear looking backwards at events, how maybe they make sense or they have led us to a certain point in our lives today. But I think it's also interesting to look at them as we lived them back then. So yeah, and to see what were the feelings and the situation back then. But perhaps first of all, the floor is yours. If you can just briefly introduce your crossroad moment.
Yeah, thanks, Bogdan. So actually, probably I have more than one crossroad moments in my life, but um, when you sent me this question, I was thinking like, what would be the best one, that kind of shaped my life and put my life in a different path. And I will say that like my admission to College of Europe, actually this is where maybe for some listeners this will sound like a simple thing, it's just uh, being admitted to a university. But for me, it was kind of different because at that time, I by the way, I'm from Turkey, so I was in Turkey, finished university, my BA degree. So I was trying to think about what I will do with my life, as a professional, what I'm going to do. So for like the first year, I was preparing to be a civil servant in Turkey, which I didn't want to, and then later, like 2 years after I graduated, I thought that, okay, maybe I can do a master's degree, abroad, maybe in France, because I studied French in university, and for like to get a scholarship, they're kind of limited in Turkey. And one of the things were that like most of the programs actually, like scholarship programs, is for the students who do European studies. Therefore, I was like, okay, maybe I can apply for this school, like College of Europe. Uh, but I didn't know about that until another like good friend of mine told me about that, and he told me that, okay, I'm going to apply for this, and the deadline is 2 days later. And then I was like too lazy. I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna apply. Probably I will not get into it. But then they extended the deadline another week, so then I applied and I got into it. Um, so at that moment, when I realized that I got into that, I was like very happy. But I didn't know that that was a crossroad moment, because like um, I didn't know what would happen after my studies. But when I went there, I met so many people from different backgrounds. I also met my wife there, and then after I graduated, we started thinking about like moving together. And then um, after I went to Turkey, I decided to move to Europe, Brussels, where back then my girlfriend was living. So we started moving together. Um, so that's sorry, maybe it's not a brief summary, but um, basically at that moment I didn't know if it was an important moment. But when I look at the past right now, I knew that if I didn't apply, for instance, probably my life would have been completely different. Maybe I would be living now in Turkey. I don't know, maybe met a different person, living somewhere else, doing a different job. So that's why I want to say that that's my uh, cross moment.
Thank you very much, Aykut, for sharing this moment. And it's nice to also see how things really worked out in a surprising but positive way for you. So I'm happy to hear this, and I'm also happy to hear that the Crossroad event, or let's say now just the admission at the college, was really a significant moment for you. I wanted to ask you about the role perhaps that contact with other people contributed to your admission. So you mentioned, for example, that you were a friend of yours, I think, was perhaps also applied for the same program, or in any case, talk to you about it. How do you think normally about the role of other people in, let's say, pushing us forward, but also inspiring us perhaps with their example? Would you say that generally, apart from also this case at the college, this plays an important role in your case, or do you follow more your gut, let's say your own intuition?
I usually follow my gut, that's for sure. But of course, as you said, people around us, like family, of course, and some close friends, uh, give us different perspective. So I don't know if I was alone at that time. I don't know what I would have done. But definitely, this friend of mine, like, really uh, helped me about that. Yeah, he's the one who taught me and also supported me uh, with that application. By the way, he also got into college, which was weird because only 4 people from Turkey got into the
Yeah.
program. So yeah, we were so lucky, and I know that there were so many applicants as well. But yeah, I follow my gut, but of course I listen to my friends, my family, and they help me to make decisions at this crossroad road moments. Yeah.
And I was thinking, when it comes to perhaps the feeling that you had in that moment, how would you describe it? Was there, let's say, when applying for the college, was there a moment in which you realized that this program was the right one, let's say, for you? Did you have any signal or any questions that you, let's say, were asking yourselves and you thought, okay, I found the answer when seeing this program? Or yeah, let's say was more of an intuitive approach?
Well, I would say I wasn't like really passionate about that program specifically. My motivation was that, okay, I wanna get out of Turkey, get out of Turkey at that moment, and like basically look at at my options, like what options are there. So I would say I didn't think it through. That's why I'm saying that I follow my guts in this moment.
Yeah, it is good to see actually, to look at when looking back at some of the most important events in our lives, perhaps how the gut is really quite smart. Sometimes it really knows almost better than our brains what the right choice is for us. Um, when looking at the events that followed after your year at the College of Europe, what would you say are the, let's say, the successes that you take pride in, and what elements perhaps of these crossroad moments contributed to these successes?
Well, of course, like I can't say that like I am a successful person in life, but I kind of achieve what I wanted, like both professionally and also in my private life. And I say that like for instance with college, uh, I met so many people. One of the people I met is my wife, and she is like an incredible person, and kind of yeah, we are kind of in a journey together right now, and um, I am a person who supports me in this life, and um, what I want to say aside from my like personal life, like being successful in my personal life, I can say that like professional as well. Right now, I'm working for a leading American NGO called Freedom House, and it's kind of a place that I always wanted to work for. And I think that if I didn't get into the college, it would have been difficult. It's uh, I don't know, maybe it would have been possible, but living abroad, having this experience has kind of helped me to like have this life. That's why I'm saying that that crossroad moment kind of shaped my life, because if I didn't take that chance at that time, probably I would have a different life. Maybe I would have had a job uh, that doesn't make me happy, or I would have been with someone who doesn't make me happy.
Definitely. And when looking backwards at the college, is it clear to you that this was of course you mentioned very clearly the elements, right? So the meeting the people among which your wife, and also let's say gathering a certain set of skills that allowed you to land this job. But apart from this, looking backwards, is it clear to you that there has been a change, so to say, between a situation before and after the college, so before and after the crossroad? And if so, what would you say the biggest change, perhaps in your mentality or any other change? What was it?
I mean, my biggest the biggest change, I would say, like just try. Like sometimes going back to your first question, you asked me the second question, do you follow your gut or like think through, follow your brain? Things when you take an action in life, your brain sometimes tells like, no, actually, that's not for you or something. That's why I'm saying that following your gut in this moment's kind of good, because it's like you never know where life will bring you. That's why I guess we are.
Yeah.
I would say like the biggest impact on me would be like, try follow your gut and like try everything you can. Like maybe this could be applied to professional life, like when people apply for jobs or something, then they should just try, and see the result because it doesn't hurt.
Yeah, and I think all of us who have been at some point in our lives in Brussels know would relate very much to this advice of always, let's say, trying to apply for different jobs and following their own dreams. Thank you very much, Aykut. This was really a pleasure exploring your crossroad today. Would you have any last piece of advice, perhaps for anyone who might be in a similar situation and let's say for whom it's not so clear yet? Let's say the end of the light at the end of the tunnel, or perhaps the end to their own questions. So what would you advise to them?
Thanks again for having me as a guest for this episode. It was nice to talk to you. I would say, like as I said previously, like just try everything you can. Don't think too much at those moments, because like life has different plans for us. You never know. That's why, like when I look at back, it gives me chills. Thinking about the different path that I would have. So yeah, like just be there, try everything you can, and everyone has different skills and things, and this applies this like both professional and personal life.
Thank you very much, and I take it as a good omen hearing you say this on our first episode, as I'm also embarking this let's say this new tentative of launching this podcast, and as you following a bit my gut and personal interest. So thank you very much again, Aykut.